When a company's product causes harm, we all know they pay a price. But how do we really know what that price is? Today, we're going to follow the money and try to uncover some of the hidden costs of corporate accountability, especially when it comes to the safety of products made for our kids. So let's just start with a really simple idea. A popular toy gets recalled because it's unsafe. Now, we all assume the company takes a big financial hit, right? But what does that actually mean? Is it just the cost of pulling toys off the shelves? Or is there a much bigger story kind of buried in the financial reports? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. And let's be super clear about the stakes here. We are not just talking about toys that break easily. As the source material points out, faulty or poorly designed products can result in injury or death. This is exactly why understanding corporate accountability isn't some academic exercise. It's a real matter of public safety. So, how do you even create a system for tracking this stuff? Well, a new framework is aiming to do just that. It's called the SASB standards. Now, SASB stands for the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board. Their whole goal is to create a kind of common language for companies to report on things like product safety. This makes sure that when one company reports on safety, it means the exact same thing as when another one does. You can almost think of it as like a Rosetta Stone for corporate responsibility. What really makes these standards so powerful is how they're structured. These are not vague guidelines, not at all. They are super specific, starting with a broad industry overview and drilling right down to the exact metrics companies have to report and the technical rules for how to do it. It's a very, very methodical approach to getting some transparency. And why go into all this detail? Well, think about it like an iceberg. Most of a company's real risk isn't visible on the surface of a traditional financial report. These standards are designed to show investors and really all of us what's lurking just below the waterline. It gives you a much, much fuller picture of a company's actual health. Okay, so now let's get specific. We're going to zoom in on the toys and sporting goods industry to see exactly what these companies have to report when it comes to the chemical and safety hazards of their products. This table here is pulled directly from the SASB standard. You can see a few key metrics like, the number of recalls, but we're going to focus on the one highlighted right here, the total monetary losses a company faces from legal proceedings related to product safety. Its official code, if you're curious, is CGTS 250A.3. All right, so now let's do a real deep dive into this one specific metric, CGTS 250A.3. This is where we can really start to follow the money and understand the true financial consequences when a product fails. First, let's get a simple definition down. When the standard talks about monetary losses, it just means the total sum of money a company has to pay out because of legal actions. We're talking lawsuits, regulatory fines, you name it, all tied directly back to incidents where their products caused harm. And this one gets to the absolute heart of the matter. On the left side, you've got what's included in that monetary loss number: fines, settlements, penalties, basically any money paid out to the other party. But now look closely at the right side. This is what's explicitly excluded: the company's own, often massive legal bill for defending itself in the first place. And hey, this isn't just my interpretation. It's written right there in the standard, word for word. The scope of monetary losses shall exclude legal and other fees incurred by the entity in its defense. Just let that sink in for a second. The potentially huge cost of hiring lawyers to fight the case, it doesn't count toward this number. Now, to be fair, the standard does ask for more than just a dollar figure. Companies also have to provide some context. Was it a settlement or a court verdict? What was the reason for the failure? Something like inadequate testing. And crucially, what corrective actions have they taken to make sure it never happens again? So let's pull back for a second and look at the bottom line. Why does this level of detail, and more importantly, understanding what's not in the details, why does this actually matter in the real world? Well, this kind of transparent reporting is incredibly powerful. It empowers investors to see the true safety risks of a company, and that, in turn, creates real financial pressure to build safer products right from the start. Ultimately, it gives us a much clearer, standardized view of accountability, and it helps us separate the companies that are proactive about safety from those that are just, reacting to disaster. Look, this standard is a huge step forward for transparency. There's no question about that. But it does leave us with one final thought. If a company's own legal bill to defend itself, which can run into the millions, by the way, is hidden from this key metric, are we really truly seeing the full cost of failure?